Hey guys, do you think there's anything you can learn from playing video games, or are we just sat here wasting our time?
Something I've learned from playing video games, I've learned to have a new perspective of things and think about different strategies to get an answer of something and just problem solving.
Yeah, that's probably true. I remember seeing a study before about how creativity is improved through gaming.
I've learned to never judge a book by its cover.
Yeah, I genuinely think I've learned as much about good storytelling through video games as I have through English class.
One thing I've learned from video games is to never give up and always stay motivated.
Yeah, that's a good point too. As you can clearly see, video games can teach many different skills. However, some believe they can also teach something else. Violence.
Violent video games have encouraged the killing of innocent people for sport.
As a murder and carjacking simulator to train teens on how to do carjackings.
He was trained to kill with Call of Duty and other video games.
Video games have been attacked from all sides of the political spectrum, from Donald Trump to Hillary Clinton. News networks have also fueled the violent video game argument through frequent debates and discussions. When it comes to these discussions, no other game is talked about more than Grand Theft Auto. So, let's talk about it. It's a game where the player can do almost anything, including things such as carjacking, bank robbing, and murder, so it's no wonder that this game is at the forefront of the violent gaming argument. However, in all my research, I've come across only a dozen cases that can be legitimately traced back to Grand Theft Auto. Out of the 140 million copies that Grand Theft Auto 5 has sold, I'd say that's not a very serious ratio. Clearly, the dangers of Grand Theft Auto and other similar games are way overblown. But still, many people call out for restrictions to be implemented onto the gaming industry, especially when it comes to mature games so that they do not fall into the hands of kids. The problem is that there already are measures in place to prevent young children from playing certain games. It's called the ESRB. The ESRB rates all games that are released based upon what ages they are suitable for, with the most common ratings being E for everyone, T for teen, and M for mature. Children are not allowed to buy games rated M unless they are accompanied by a parent. These ratings can be found on the packaging of every video game in big bold letters. They are also displayed on every major online retailer as well. But despite all of these measures, some parents will still mindlessly buy their kids Call of Duty and then proceed to complain about Call of Duty being violent. Honestly, I don't blame these types of parents if they are getting their information from people like this guy.
This game is teaching people to hack in to whatever is docked in your bedroom.
What? This is easily the most ridiculous claim I've come across during all of my research. In Watch Dogs, you are able to hack into things by looking at them and pressing X on your controller. Hacking into something in real life is much more complicated than looking at it and mashing a button on your PlayStation controller. It's a bit harder than that. And this highlights the biggest issue with many of these anti-gaming arguments. Most of these critics have never actually tried the games that they criticize, and they clearly don't do any research as well, sometimes not even a quick 2-minute Google search. More often than not, this invalidates their whole argument.
Yeah, it's completely incorrect. First of all, you can actually play as a man or a woman in the game. Cooper, have you ever played Mass Effect?
No.
No.
You can't just blame something you don't understand every time there's a problem in our society. The fact of the matter is that studies from the likes of Harvard and Oxford have proven that real-life crime is not driven by video games. In fact, you could even make the argument that video games actually lower the amount of real-life crime.
But crime is down. Youth offenses are down. Maybe it's good for kids.
Violent video games don't kill people. Violent people kill people. And instead of these critics using their time and effort to advocate for things like more effective mental health support, they instead disregard the entire video game industry. Art is an interpretation of reality, not the other way around.
To try to blame Shakespeare and the violence in Shakespeare and the violence in art for violence that happens in the real world is something that's been tried for years and is always wrong.
And that, my friends, is why it's unfair to blame real-world violence on video games.